Good morning. It's the Call Flow Radio Show, and you're on the air.
And it is the Call Flow Radio Show here on WFLO AM 870. We're streaming online at WFLO.net and broadcasting live from the Francis E. Wood Studio in downtown Farmville. Our phone number, if you'd like to partake, 434-394-0924. I'm John Staten. What's left of John and...
I'm the rest of John Staten.
And what's left of Noah Massard.
Oh, that's right.
Immediately to my left here. And I think... Well, we did. I thought we had someone calling in, and I didn't grab it in time. So
well,
I'm sure they'll call back.
Not the first time you missed your
window
unfortunately,
of
opportunity,
you got to do the introduction. You can't
of course. No, yeah. Of course.
Bum rush into the call right away.
You can't just jump right into the deep end.
Right.
You got to start in the shallow end.
That's what I've always thought.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's Tuesday.
It is. The second, by the way.
The second Tuesday.
No, July 2nd.
In July 2nd, yeah.
It's the second Tuesday or the first Tuesday?
It's the first Tuesday.
Okay.
It's the first Tuesday of this month. It's July 2nd. And I got to say, this weather we've been having, yesterday and today, kind of nice.
It's very nice.
Kind of nice.
Yep.
Wow. I'm like
shocked. Stayed like that, I'd probably be outdoors a lot more. I say that. I don't know if I mean it, but...
I don't think you do, John. No, I'm kidding. I don't think you do. No.
I'd be more apt to being outside, though.
Yeah.
For sure. All right.
What do you do outside when you're outside? Like
make way to the inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just like find your way back in.
Right.
You're basically like my brother Dan with my parents' house. He
Yeah.
always finds a way back in. No, I'm kidding. That's funnier if you know.
Love you, Dan.
No, we don't.
We don't love brother Dan.
That's funny.
That's a shame.
Yeah. I've been having some allergies, John. Like
it's the time of the year.
Runny nose.
Yep.
My nose is running away from me, and I can't help it.
Yeah. It like I said, this is the time of year, and when the weather changes, I'll probably catch mine again at some point.
John,
real fun stuff to look forward to. Mm-hmm.
How was your day yesterday after you left?
Better.
And we say goodbye. That's funny.
I'm just kidding. Non-eventful,
okay.
Which is the way I like it.
Yeah.
Just kind of go home and crash and
rest up, rejuvenate.
Yeah, rejuvenate. Yeah.
Oh, rejuvenate.
It's all about the rejuvenation process. Mm-hmm. So let's just do some on this day until we get that caller back.
Well, you love it.
Well, it's something to talk about as opposed to what'd you do last night. That kind of real riveting type.
Let me ask you this. Ask you this then. This is a little bit more riveting.
Okay, riveting.
Did you think about coming out to the fireworks after dark any more than you did yesterday? Because I'm pretty sure how we left it was like I was talking to John and I was like, John, at least think about it because I think it would be funny. And did you think about it anymore?
No.
Okay.
All right, so let's take this caller now. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello there.
Hey, Henry.
All right. Somebody got a little bit of a cold?
Noah's got some allergies, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, it would be good if you were allergic to allergies.
True.
Yeah, you wouldn't have them.
That's right.
That would be nice, yeah.
Yeah. There was a fellow that wanted to lose some weight.
Mm-hmm.
And so he every time he got hungry, he'd eat a little handful of dog food. But after about a week, he ended up in the hospital.
Mm.
And someone asked him if he was allergic to the dog food. And he said no. He was standing next to a fire hydrant and a truck hit him.
Yeah, I guess that could happen if you ate enough dog food.
Yeah.
I've heard of young kids doing that. Did you ever do that, Noah?
Mm.
Henry, did you ever try to eat dog food? I never did.
No.
No.
The smell wasn't all that appealing to me.
It's too salty. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. We used to feed to the dog.
Right. Table scraps, yep.
Yes, sir. Leftover. I remember Mama used to make those little hoe cakes, we called them.
Mm-hmm.
They had some left over. You got to throw them in the air, and the dog, our old hound dog Brownie, he'd gulp it down. It'd never hit the ground. And you could have 2 or 3 of them in the air at the same time, and he'd get every one of them.
Yeah, they'd get athletic like those dogs in those dog shows you see on TV.
Yeah, that's right.
Westminster, whatever it is.
Did you have you seen that advertisement where this lady is advertising for a short mattress? She wanted to buy a mattress that was about 2 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody asked her, why would she want a little tiny mattress?
Right.
She said she wanted to put it on her flower bed.
Aha.
Mm-hmm.
You planted that one in just right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they say I'm a blooming idiot. But anyway, I know you heard in the news about the man that sat on his false teeth and he bit himself.
Right.
That could easily happen, you know.
Yeah.
Then there was a young lady that went away to college, and she asked her brother, old redneck brother, if he would look after her little dog while she was in college.
Right.
And he said, yeah, he'd take care of him. So about a month later, she called home, and he answered the phone, and she says, how's my little dog? And the brother said, he's dead. And, oh, she got upset. She was really... And she said, finally, why didn't you just break that to me gently?
Right.
You didn't have to just come out and say he's dead. And he said, what do you mean, break it to you gently? She said, well, you could have said that... I said dog. It was a cat, actually. It was a cat. He was so quick I couldn't identify him. But anyway, her cat died, and so she said, you could have told me that one day the kitty was up on the roof playing with a little red rubber ball, and the ball rolled over the edge, and the kitty jumped to get it and slipped and fell off the roof and did not survive. You didn't just have to come up and say he's dead. And so she said, how's Mama doing? He said, well, she was up on the roof playing with this little red rubber ball, and thank you, Noah.
That's pretty good.
Oh, well, anyway.
You know I like that one.
I say, sounds like it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Henry, I'm a big fan of your comedy.
I'm
a big fan of your comedy, actually.
He likes your comedy.
Oh, he does.
Oh yeah.
I might not laugh. Yeah.
He's laughing on the
A
inside.
lot of things just come up.
Right.
Like in church one day, I was giving these testimonies at Heritage every other Sunday for about, I don't know, I guess 2 years. And someone asked me, do you always sound in such good spirits? Do you ever wake up grumpy? And I said, no, I let her sleep.
Ooh.
Hi-oh. You should have seen it. You should have seen the look Joyce, my wife, gave me.
I bet.
Yeah. but anyway, a lot of things just pop up.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes the filter doesn't work.
That's right.
There was a lady in the bank waiting in the line to be waited on, and anyway, she stepped up to the counter, and about that time, a man robbed the bank. He is wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And the mask slipped down, and he quickly pulled it back up. And he said to the lady there in front, he says, "Did you see my face?" And she says, "No, I did not." And he put the gun on her face. She said, "No, I didn't see your face." And then she pointed to a man standing there. She says, "But my husband here did." True love, huh?
Yeah.
I think she didn't want to get rid of him, but anyway.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. A number of times I have been allowed to see something that happens just a little bit later. And one Sunday, we were at Charlotte Courthouse at Joyce's parents' home, and Bud and Brenda Wilmoth were there, and we were in the house there, and the door was a glass door, and I looked out and I saw their son Brett driving in his daddy's truck. And I said to Bud, "Bud, here comes Brett down the driveway, and he's driving your truck." And Bud said, "Well, he can't be. He's in Roanoke." And he's in Roanoke at a mechanics school or whatever.
Right.
And he didn't come in the house. So in a little while, I went out to look for him, and there was nobody there. There's no truck or nothing. So I came on back inside. 2 Sundays later, that was on a Sunday afternoon. 2 weeks later, we were there again. And Bud and Brenda there, and Joyce and I, and Chrissy. And I looked at the door, and I said, "Well, here comes Brett, Bud, and he's driving your truck," just like I'd seen 2 weeks before. And in a few minutes, he came inside and said that he had wrecked his car. He nodded off and ran out of the road and wrecked his car about halfway between Keysville and Charlotte Courthouse. So he walked back to their house and got his daddy's truck and drove in. And yet I'd seen it 2 weeks before him driving in. And I've had 12 or 15 experiences like that.
Right.
I remember when the Vietnam War was on, Dr. Harold Nace of Farmville was there overseas.
He was serving.
In Iraq.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going home one day, and I had to drive by their house on the way home. And I saw Dr. Nace crossing the yard from his car, going to the front door.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got home, and after about an hour, I called the house over there, and his wife answered, and I told her, I said, "Hey, I saw the doc coming in a while ago." And she says, "What do you mean?" And I told her I saw him crossing the yard. And she says, "No, it couldn't have been him. He's in Iraq."
Mm-hmm.
And so, in a way, I went on about my business, and so 21 days later, I'm driving, and there comes Dr. Nace walking from the car up to the house, and his wife was coming down the front steps to meet him because she'd been looking for him.
Right.
And the Lord had showed me that Dr. Nace would be there on the third day when I first saw him. And 3 days went by and he didn't come. And so I was asking the Lord, what does the 3 days mean? And he said, open the book. And I opened the Bible. And it was scripture that said, on the second Sabbath after the first. That's 3 weeks, 21 days. Right. And so I had called Mrs. Nace and told her that he would be home after 21 days. And on that 21st day, he came home for good out of the war.
Okay.
So I've experienced some things like that.
Right.
And in a way, I was coming home after work one day, and there's a Mr. Atkinson whose daughter lived on High Street. And as I went by, I saw Mr. Atkinson's truck. Now, he lived in Crewe, and he was visiting his daughter, but the side of the truck was smashed in. And so later that day, I went to the post office, and when I went by, the truck was still sitting there, and it was still smashed in. I came back from the post office. The truck was in perfect shape. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. So a week later, I had to go down to Newman Tire to get a tire replaced. And I'm sitting in the office while they're doing it, and Mr. Atkinson came in, and his truck was all bent in. And we got to talking, and he said that he had been, someone had ran into his truck and had ruined one of his tires.
Right.
Had slashed it. So he was there to replace the tire. And I said, when did this thing happen? He said it happened about a week ago that the truck hit me. And yet I'd seen it.
Right.
I mean, excuse me, a week after what I saw is what I'm trying to say.
I got you.
Yeah, it was a week later that, the wreck, somebody hit him.
Right.
In fact, he said, when I asked him, he said, I got hit yesterday. But yet I'd seen the truck been up a couple of weeks before that. There was a state trooper in Charlotte County, Haley. Donnie Haley was a state trooper. And Joyce and I and Christy were on the way to see her folks on a Sunday afternoon, and there was a funeral wreath on the trooper's door. But on the way home, I looked again that evening when we came back, and there was nothing on the door. All right, 2 weeks later, we're over there again. There was that funeral wreath on the door. And Mr. Wilmoth told me that Trooper Haley's wife had died the day before, and I told him about the wreath, but yet I saw it, a week or 2 weeks, in fact, before it happened. I saw the wreath on the door.
Right.
And I think one of the reasons that he allowed me to see those was that, he was teaching me, I would pray for the family. I would leave home about 3:30 in the morning going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And about 5:15, my wife would get an obscene phone call. This happened a couple times, and I didn't know what to do about it. You can't say arrest somebody, but anyway, I was praying about it, and I saw, just as plain as day, I saw in my mind a picture of a man. In fact, he was an orderly, and I saw that, but you can't say arrest this dude, because the Lord showed me he was doing this or that, and so I didn't know what to do about it. So a couple of days later, I'm walking down the hall at the hospital, and one of the nurses kind of fell in beside me. She said, "Did you hear what happened up here?" I said, "No, what are you talking about?" She said, "The head nurse at about 5:30 in the morning was walking down the hallway, and she walked by an empty room, and she heard a voice inside, and she cracked the door open to see who it was, and there was the orderly on the phone making an obscene phone call to somebody else." And so he was fired, and what else, I don't know.
Right.
But those are, and I've experienced a number of others at our WFLO driveway, at Wayne's Food Mart, at a fast food place in Lynchburg, at a fast food place in Appomattox. We don't have time to get into, but
no, people
that you're looking at and watching, and 10 feet ahead of you, and they disappear.
Right.
And so all that was hopefully teaching me kind of a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I asked the Lord one time why these things were happening, and he said in a voice, he said, "I was teaching you to trust me." So if he says spit out the window, I'll go spit out the window.
Right.
He was just, I was in school, so to speak.
Right. Well,
anyway,
we're going to have to wrap this up, Henry, but we do appreciate you calling in.
Oh, and don't forget, folks, to pray for rain. That was a priority, to ask that maybe Thursday at 1 o'clock. If everybody listening at 1 o'clock Thursday will stop what you're doing for a moment and ask the Lord to send rain. He has done that before, and I've given testimony about that. But if everybody just pray for rain, whatever you're doing, stop for a moment and ask God to send some rain. At 1 o'clock this coming Thursday.
All right, Henry.
Thank you. All right. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you, Henry. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. All right, Henry Fulcher. And we do definitely need the rain, and there is some chance of it starting, Independence Day. Of course, there's a 30% chance, and Thursday. So, yeah, that is Thursday, so there you go. All righty.
It could be an Independence Day miracle.
It could very well be. All right, so we're going to do the weather first, and then we'll do our birthdays. So Noah's getting set for that. For today, speaking of weather, here we go. Sunny for today with a high near 85. And then tonight, mostly clear with a low around 60. Sunny Wednesday, a high near 90 and mostly clear. Wednesday night with a low around 67. And then Here we go with the chance of rain. Independence Day, a 30% chance of showers, thunderstorms, and it's saying after 2 p.m. Otherwise, mostly sunny skies, a high near 95. And then Thursday night, a 30% chance of showers, thunderstorms, and a low around 72. So right now we've got a humidity reading of 72%. Winds are north at 3 miles per hour, and the barometer reading 30.26. We've got partly cloudy skies right now, 66 here at WFLO AM 870. And the birthday calendar is brought to you by Creative Electrical Contractors, located at 1907 East 3rd Street, Farmville.
Creative Electrical Contractors specializes in commercial and industrial projects and offers quality work at competitive prices. CEC is a licensed Class A contractor in Virginia and North Carolina. Creative Electrical Contractors has been in business for 25 years, still committed to the values that were established when the company opened in 1998. Integrity, quality workmanship, and timely delivery. CEC, located at 1907 East 3rd Street, Farmville. You can contact CEC at 434-392-3802 or at creative-electrical.com.
And those wonderful tickling of the ivory means it's time for the birthday anniversary calendar here on Flow AM 870.
That's right, John.
And to give you those birthdays, I present to you Noah Massage. Take it away, Noah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. So we have Bob Shoot today as for one of the birthdays. Today's, by the way, July 2nd, 2024. We also have Stephanie Spiegler. John, how would you say this last name? Spigler. Spiegler?
Let me say it real quick. For today, right?
Yes.
Spiegler, the way it's spelled.
Okay. That's
what I would guess.
Yeah. We also have Fern Dunavant and Bill Crawley of Farmville.
Bill Crawley.
I feel like I know that name somehow.
I've known some Crawleys in my time.
That's right. So that's the birthdays, guys. I wish y'all have a great day. You all people, you guys are people.
You're saying all people.
I'm
right?
I'm not saying y'all.
Or old people.
No.
You're not saying that either.
I hope you all have a great day. I hope you all buy yourself a slice of something, well deserved. It's your birthday. Come on, what can you do?
Have a slice of cheese.
There you go. That's
right.
what I do. I have Gouda cheese on my birthday.
All right, the birthday. Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay,
I'm
the birthday.
Out.
You sure? Birthday calendar brought to you by Creative Electrical Contractors. If it is not right, we will make it right. Call 434-392-2802 if you'd like to add, subtract, or just give us a name we didn't have. You can do that now if you want. 434-394-0924. Same number if you just want to call and chat and shoot the fat, shoot the breeze, whatever the case may be. All right, so now that you've done the official local celebrities, I am going to present to you the Hollyweird celebrity birthdays after Noah cleanses himself of the mucus that's inside of his body. All right, so happy birthday today going out to comedian
Larry David.
How'd you know it was his birthday today?
I heard it on the OFA, John. I'm sorry.
Did they mention it on
They
OFA?
did mention it, yeah.
Usually I catch that. I didn't catch it this morning. Yeah, but did they say how old he was?
No, they didn't.
77.
Whoa. Getting up there.
And he's been around for a while. Pretty good. Pretty. Did you ever watch the Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I never finished watching it, and I've only seen a handful of episodes of season 1, but I enjoy it.
Season 1? It's going back a ways.
Yeah. I always start, when I watch a new show, I always start from season 1, no matter where the show's from.
Here's your fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
Earned an Emmy nomination for hosting duties for an episode of SNL back in 2016. Didn't realize he did a SNL hosting gig, but he earned an Emmy nomination for that. Of course, writer on Seinfeld and all that.
Of course,
yeah,
John,
that's his
course.
biggest. Let's see
Claim
who
to
else.
fame.
What's that?
Claim to fame?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. That's what when I first heard of him, it was because of that. Singer Michelle, I didn't realize though that was his voice when I was younger watching Seinfeld. That was his voice of the Yankees owner. That's really his. It's not him in makeup because you never saw the guy's face. but I can't think of his name now. But the guy that owns the Yankees, but it was his voice on the overdub that was always talking. Get back in there, George, and all this other stuff. That was him. Singer Michelle Branch turns 41. Fun fact: married Black Keys drummer Patrick Carney in 2019. And we have another caller, so we're going to take that and say good morning. You're on the air.
John and Noah, top of the morning.
Good morning, Barry. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How y'all doing?
Can't complain.
Getting ready for a hot fourth?
Is it? Are we calling for a hot fourth? I don't recall.
I think it's going to be a hot fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Yeah, 95. Yeah, I'd say 95 is fairly hot.
Pretty warm, isn't it?
Yeah, compared to what we've been having.
Boy, the last 2 days were beautiful.
Yes, very nice.
I need to make an urgent call out to our Department of Social Services in Cumberland.
Okay.
And if any of them are listening, please call me, because when I call them, it only rings one time and cuts off. And I've had this trouble the last 2 days. I'm assuming that it's in the phone system. But anyway, if anybody out there from the Department of Social Services in Cumberland hears me, please call me. And my phone number is 804-492-5806. It is urgently important that we hear from somebody over there today. If not, we're going to have to stop by, and that's one more trip that I don't have time for. Got a busy day today.
Hey, Barry, have you thought about going over there and seeing if there's anybody in?
Well, they're in. I know they're in. They were in yesterday, but I got some long message of a recording from them one time, and I asked somebody to call me back, and they didn't. But I know they were there, and I know they're there today. So, or at least they should be. I don't know of a holiday or a day to take them out of the office. But if they're listening, please call me as soon as possible. If not, I'll have to stop by there because I've got an urgent need.
All right.
Gentlemen, thank you all very much. Everybody have a great 4th and keep it safe and allow yourself plenty of time wherever you're going, whatever you're doing.
All right, Barry.
Have a good day, gentlemen.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So we're the go-between now. All right.
I have no idea what's going. I think it's a general rule of thumb. You can't just say I have an urgent call that I have to make with social services, but not say what it's about. People are going to speculate. I don't know, man. I hope Barry's okay. I hope that everything.
Yeah.
That is banana. If anything is bananas, John, what just happened? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone or something. I feel like Rod Sterling's going to pop out any second now.
Sterling or Serling?
Sterling.
Okay.
Isn't it Sterling?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Sterling.
Picture a man trying to do a radio show. And he can't do it.
What's going on here?
He's entered the flow zone.
Did I even wake up this morning, or is this a dream? Whoa.
I don't know myself.
John.
I'm just sort of floating on a cloud here.
I could tell you're unaffected by anything.
All right. Let's
truly a great hero.
Take another caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, I love the new birthday music.
You do?
Yeah. One step closer to starting Massage with Massage.
How are you doing, sir? We haven't heard from you in a while.
Oh, I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Can't complain.
Very well, very well.
We're here.
Yeah, it's been warm the last month.
Yeah, but the last couple of days have been sort of nice, I thought.
Yeah. I also like that Phil Collins song they all played right before the news, too.
Oh, Just Another Day in Paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good song. I want to say
John,
in the
do you like jazz?
Go ahead, what?
John hates jazz.
Like jazz.
It's not that I hate jazz. I just wouldn't say I'm a connoisseur or a big... I mean, I like jazz in small doses, I guess. I wouldn't say I hate it or anything like that. No, it's okay.
No one just said you do.
I think.
Well, no one's going to say anything.
Look, that's not true, John.
Yeah,
that's not true.
Noah's a big fan of show tunes, so I mean, he's not one to talk.
I feel like you
Really?
come off as somebody who's staunchly against jazz. Like you take an anti-jazz stance.
I wouldn't say that at all.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to speak for you, but that's just the vibe I got.
Show tunes, yes.
Show tunes, a big no-no in John's book.
But
Big
jazz,
no-no.
I don't mind jazz. I mean, I don't have like records of it at home or anything like that.
Okay.
But I don't mind it.
Hey, why don't you and I listen to John Coltrane's Ohm after this and see
You
who
do that, and
lasts
I'll
the
go
longest.
and I'll work.
That's
why
like,
I'm
John,
here to work.
you
I'm
just-
not here to just listen to records.
I know.
And we're not talking to our
okay,
caller.
That's true.
Which
Caller.
But the
I'll
caller
let you
is
down.
important,
I'm
and
sorry.
we need to hear what the caller
I'm
has to
gonna
say.
leave now.
Put your Coltrane on. And
Bye, Noah. Have a good day.
oh man! So, are you a jazz fan?
Not really.
No. Okay. So Noah, you should have been getting after him. Huh?
Oh man.
I like that music for the birthdays, though.
You do like that? Yeah. Well, Noah had been suggesting I find something else, and I figured, well, the days that he and I are on, I could maybe get away with a different little bed and play that instead of the old tried and true.
It's so short. By the time you read the birthdays, it stops playing.
That is true. Well, what they used to do was they would play it when they started doing the birthdays, and then when they were wrapping it up, they'd turn around and play it again, the old one you're talking about. And we got away from that.
Yeah.
We, I want to say, some years ago, we narrowed it down. Well, put a long story short, I wasn't always running the board once we had this version of Flow, and so when we were doing the Call Flow show, I wasn't always behind the board, so that second bed of this old music you're talking about that was real short, that would get kicked out a lot of times. It wouldn't get played, so I just stopped putting it in because it kept getting kicked out.
Yeah, okay.
But now that I'm running it, I could have put it back in, but I was just so in the habit of just playing it once, and that was it. But I could put it back the other way. I just haven't done it yet. Actually, it does still show up that way, I think. I think I just kick it out.
Have you worked
Yes,
on
right.
you worked on your Ron Moody impression?
I'm sorry? Oh, Ron Moody impression?
Have you worked on your... Yeah.
I haven't really worked on it in a while. I haven't heard from you in a while, so I hadn't thought about trying to work on it. Let's see. Oh, hello, friends. Ron Moody. Yeah. How's that? Is that halfway okay?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You have to almost say the terms that Ron Moody says. Can you say WFLO is back?
WFLO is back.
That's it right there. That is very recognizable. Ron Moody confirmed.
Okay. Well, it helps to hear the promo every so often, too.
Yeah.
It's sort of like embedded in my brain.
Can you do Calvin?
Calvin's got a super low voice. Have you ever heard Calvin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when he's on the show. Yeah, so the part that I always hear Calvin is when they do the trivia thing. And
Oh, yeah.
and
Ron.
he'll do the trivia with Ron, and so he'll ask him, "I'll take B," or whatever he says. That would be the Beatles, Ron, or whatever. He has a real low voice. I don't know if
You
he.
had Noah impersonation when he was sitting right there yesterday in the beginning. When you say that's right, John.
Was I doing Noah, or was Noah doing me? I don't remember.
I think we
No,
were.
you were doing Noah yesterday.
Oh.
I
It was
think you
so
were.
Funny.
Yeah.
I don't even.
That's right, John.
That's funny what people hear because I don't even remember doing that. But I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, come on, John. Everybody wants to hear your no impression.
Come on, John. Everybody wants to hear you know him.
Okay.
Come on, John. Oh, man.
John, you can't just copy what I'm saying.
You can't just copy what I'm saying.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Oh, boy. It's been a wonderful
Do
day.
your John impression.
Hey, guys, my name's John.
First of all, I
Hold
don't
on.
do
Hold
the,
on.
hey, guys.
My name's John.
Yeah, that's how I.
That's exactly how John
I can't
talks.
tell us apart. You sound just like
You know,
so
he
much.
sounds different over the radio, but like if you ever hear in person, he sounds like this. Hey, how's it going? My name's John Staten with you.
I wouldn't have a voice if I talked like that in real life.
It's weird. It's kind of light and it's kind of airy. Not airy. John, you have a great voice. I can't replicate it. Like you make. I can't do it. I can't. I'm trying to
Just
make
grunt.
the,
Just grunt a lot. Just go. Just do that a lot, and you'll.
Well, I can't say anything you say because that would all be.
Well, it's not
bleeped
FCC
out.
regulated.
It'd just be a long bleep. There you go.
It's your John impersonation.
John,
Yes, sir.
did you ever know Cat Simon from radio?
I'm sorry.
Did you ever know Cat Simon?
Say the name again.
That was on the Cat Simons.
Ed Simons.
Yeah, I heard it that time. No, but I know the name.
She passed away
Oh no, really?
over the weekend.
Oh no. Now
Your dad probably knew her.
yeah. Well, someone else passed away that was a radio personality. Had you ever heard of the name Tom Kent?
Yeah.
He passed
He
away.
passed?
Yeah, he had cancer or something, I believe. And one of my dad's radio buddies that I know growing up, he called me up to tell me about it, and he wanted me to pass it along to my dad. Yeah, Tom Kent passed away. I guess it was last week. I guess it was.
Oh, I used to love this show.
Yeah, he was good. He was a real good jock.
Yeah.
He had his own, he was syndicated, had his own program, radio show, and had different types of genres that he played. And yeah, he was really good. My dad thought a lot of him. He would call him up sometimes, and I think they even met at least once or twice.
Were they ever on the same station?
No, they were never on the same station, to my knowledge, except for when Dad worked at. But it's kind of a technicality more than they actually worked there together in person. But make a long story short, when Dad worked at a station in Charlottesville, Dad did weekends, and they would run Tom Kent's program syndicated at night. So if you want to say they worked together, they were both on the same station, but technically Tom Kent wasn't physically there. But they did run his show.
I had no idea that he
I remember getting that call, I guess it was last Friday is when I got that call.
I was here
Wow.
for that, I think, because we were talking about that.
Yeah.
It might have been last Thursday or something.
Yeah.
Some one of those.
So yeah, we're losing some good people.
Yeah. Apparently.
Was there anything else you
Not
wanted
really.
to bring up?
Yeah, but I think I told you I liked the last song.
We're losing you. Can you speak up a little bit?
I like that last song I played before the news.
Oh yeah, the Phil Collins, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you like that song?
Yeah, I liked it. It's a little more subdued than what I was used to at the time when Phil Collins was putting out stuff, but I did like the song. I even want to say that the video, if I remember right, I want to say Eric Clapton might have been in the video. I can't remember now. I know he did some guitar work for him. It might have been another song from that same era. I think he did this guitar for, what was it? Let It Rain or whatever it was called. Wish It Would Rain. I don't remember the exact title of the song, but Phil Collins, that was one of his tunes. But if you listen to the guitar, you know that's Clapton playing on it.
Oh, okay.
You can just tell it's him just by the way the solo sounds.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what's going to be on Thursday since y'all are doing Cultural on July 3rd?
No, we won't be on live Thursday. We'll probably run a
Best of.
Yeah, best of, sure. You got to actually have a collection of those types of things
John,
to do
we have
that.
a best of moment. Come on.
Now we'll probably just we'll run some of the same elements to the show as like the Old Farmers and all that. But as far as to fill the time, we'll just have music filling in. So we won't.
Who's hosting it that day?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Who's hosting? on Thursday morning.
Will we be here at all Thursday morning?
Yeah, who's going to be hosting?
Well, technically that falls on Noah, but I think we're going to try to make it so that nobody's actually here, maybe.
Yes.
You'll hear our voices. We just won't physically. We're going to pull a Tom Kent on you. You can hear us. You can hear us, but you won't be able to interact with us.
And I love that y'all did a good show last week. There was a tribute to Francis Ward.
The last show last weekend with Francis Wood, or like the contribute. Yeah,
that was
a good show.
Yep, nice salute to Francis. Yep.
Noah probably never got to meet him.
What was that?
Did Noah ever get to meet Francis Ward?
Oh,
yeah. Did you ever get to meet Francis?
I don't think I did. Yeah. I do remember hearing him on air before, but no, I never met the man.
I never got to meet him either, honestly.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
No, I never called when he was on there.
Francis was a heck of a guy. I've known him ever since I was in high school, I guess. I mean, I knew of him before that, but when I first met him, I was still in high school and had to meet him and try to talk him into giving me a job, and he was nice enough.
He made you get rid of your accent.
I'm sorry?
He told you to get rid of your accent, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah, but he was polite about it. He just said, you need to work on your accent and maybe go home and read the paper and out loud. And I thought that was a little silly sounding at the time, but then when I would tape myself and listen back, I would think to myself, yeah, he's got a point. I need to work on the accent.
What did you sound like back then?
I probably sounded like Elvis back in the day. I slurred my words a lot, and you didn't understand what I was saying. You know what I mean? I was just kind of talking, mumbling. I was making very little effort to actually enunciate words. Is the best way to put it.
I was listening to Ron the other day, and I think I heard Henry do a commercial.
I missed that. What was that?
I was listening to Ron the other day, and I think I heard Henry do a commercial. Is that possible?
I'm sorry, you're kind of going.
Yeah. I heard Henry do a commercial the other day when I was listening to Ron.
You had a commercial?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, is that possible that I would have heard Henry do a commercial?
It sounds like you're kind of going into like an echoey chamber. Like it's kind of hard to.
Yeah. Is it possible I would have heard Henry do a commercial the other day?
Henry Fulcher doing a commercial the other day?
Yeah. We still play Henry Fulcher commercials.
The GMC one, the GMC truck.
The Davis.
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah, Davis GMC, yep. Well, I think they wanted us to keep playing that.
Oh, and he also does the Stokes commercial as well.
Yes, he does. Yep.
Yeah, he didn't say who he was, but I heard that, and I thought, that can't be, but it sounds like Henry.
Oh, it's Henry, all right. Yeah. Well, some clients, if we have still commercials in our library left over that are still relevant and that we can play them, they'll request that we play those with Henry's voice on it. We still play some with Francis's voice on it.
Yeah. Do y'all still have any of you with your accent when you first came there?
What was that again?
Do we still have any of you with your accent when you first came to Flow?
Oh, when you first came to Flow?
No, and thankfully we do not. No, I wouldn't have kept anything like that.
Oh, come on, John.
No, we do have a couple of commercials from the original Flow, but they were only like maybe, I don't know, if I had to put a time on it, maybe close to 10 years ago, something like that. Maybe that old, if that.
Have you ever accidentally, on this Flow, accidentally played a thing that said 95.7 on the end of it?
Here lately?
Or ever.
Yeah, or ever.
Well, he's asking about 95.7.
Well, if you've ever played something like a liner that said 95.7 on.
No, I was very conscious of that, to my knowledge. If it happened, it was so rare that it may have done it once. But I painstakingly took all the liner stuff we had, and if it had a 95.7 tag to it, I would chop it off or recut it or whatever I needed to do to make it work, to just say 870 or just say Flow AM or something like that. No, to my knowledge, nothing like that happened. I wouldn't put it past me though, but I don't think we had that problem. I think we had a little bit of time to get things going before we actually went on the air. And
what was the first thing that was on the air when the WFLO came back?
What was that again?
What was the very first thing that was on the air when WFLO returned? The very first thing that was on when WFLO came back, what was it?
When we came back?
Yeah, the very first thing that played, what was it?
Yeah.
I need some better headphones or something.
Yeah, what was the very first thing that played on WFLO?
Oh, what was the first thing we played? Oh man, I don't remember, because unlike what we used to do at the old Flow, we're automated now, so all the music is in the system and it just sort of plays itself, basically. And we can program it to do certain things. We can make sure certain songs are active or not active. But as far as what we used to have to do, I'll try to not be so boring and make it out like this. Basically, back in the old days, we picked the songs as we were live on the air. And if we weren't live, or if somebody wasn't live at all, they would go to a satellite, and that satellite would play its own music. Well, now we don't have it like that at all. So it's hard for me to remember exactly what the first song was, because I don't think I was the first one on the air. I would imagine it was Chris Brochon. I could be wrong. But that's a good question, but I can't answer it because...
He still did call Flow when we all started back up? Chris Brochon was still doing Call Flow?
Yeah, he was first doing Call Flow, yes. Matter of fact, I think he was doing it by himself at first, if I remember it right. What was that?
The show he does on Saturdays now.
Do you listen to that?
Embarrassing to say, not really.
Well, I know he's got his fan base, because some people really like that type of music. And I guess, we got a little bit of time. Was there anything you wanted to say before we let you go?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I haven't called in a long time before today. It's been a few months.
What was a long time?
Since the last time I called.
It's been Have you
back in February?
Have you been okay, or you been busy, or what's been going on?
Yeah, I've just been busy.
Been busy. I understand that. Mm-hmm. Well, it was good to hear from you, and you call back whenever you like. Okay.
I will. Keep that new birthday music going.
I'll throw it in when I can.
Cool.
You take care. Have a good day.
Thanks.
All right. Bye. Yeah, we were just talking about him.
We literally were just talking about him like
saying